Hello, friends. How are you? Welcome to the last day of the launch program. Day 4. This is titled Go Time. So, this is going to be where shit gets real, where things are going to happen and things are going to start moving quickly. So, we talked about the buildup. We talked about the teaser, and now it's time to start closing that loop. And that's when we are first going to, after we do the hype and the buildup, and then the teaser, it's then going to go into announcement like the day later. So the next step is the announcement part of it. I'm just jumping in this today because there's a lot of information here. And I was thinking about breaking it up into 2 days, but I think that for it all to make sense, and there's also a lot of overlap in this part, I wanted to really kind of put them all together. So it's going to be very information dense, and just be ready, be prepared, get your notes ready. But I think it will really answer a lot of the questions that you did have about the launch, like getting into specific details and things like that. So it's time to close the loop. It's time to announce. So this is a full announcement. The next day after your last tease, you're going to come in and you're going to say, here's what's going on. I am so excited to announce this for you. And you're going to give the full details of your launch. Okay. And again, this, we talked about this being for several different things. It could be for, an ongoing Twitter space. It could be for a masterclass. But right now, I'm just going to give details for the actual big launch, the NFT collection launch. So you're going to get on. It could be a Twitter space. It could be a posted Discord, a long, threaded tweet. And this actually information all should go on your website too, if you have one. So you are giving all the details. You are talking about the team. You are talking about your purpose. You are talking about the story and your passion behind your NFTs. You are talking about the utility, the philanthropy aspect, if you have one. What else? Launch dates, pre-sale dates, official links, how to get on the pre-sale list, where to mint, what wallet you need, what crypto you need, anything that you can think of. You want to put this information out here. Just write it all out, say it all out. If you want to get into Twitter space and say it there too. And this is twofold because you are unloading all the information, you're closing that loop, you're giving them that dopamine hit, and now people are excited. They've closed the loop and their brain is like super pumped. You are super pumped because this, like the aura that you're in, the energy that you're in is celebration mode, is party mode, is just like excitement mode. Okay. You're also creating a spot where you can house information. So this whole Discord, message, the information that's going on your website, this is where when people have questions, you can direct them somewhere. During launch, especially if you have a huge collection and a huge community, you are going to be bombarded with questions, information, and it's going to be all of the same questions. A lot of it's going to be. So the easiest thing for you to keep your energy intact and to make sure that you're not scattered and you're not dealing with stuff that you don't need to be dealing with, especially things that come up over and over again, is you are going to send people to these spots. If they're asking you questions in Discord, send them to the post that has all the information. If they're asking you on Twitter, send them to your tweet or your recorded Twitter space or your website. All right. So this is twofold. It's celebrating, getting everyone excited, and creating this information hub. So you're showing up, you are telling them all the things. After that, though, you might still get a lot of questions, and it might be questions that, again, are repeatable. So keep your eyes open for that and your ears open for what are people asking and what did I miss? And you will probably find that you've missed some information that you didn't even think of, that I didn't even think of right now to tell you. And when that happens, you can go on there and you can do another announcement again. You can do kind of like the second announcement, like, hey, we're getting lots of questions. I'm here to answer your questions. And again, then you have that second hub. So then you can send them to 2 links. You can add the rest of the information to the website, because you really want people, no matter where they go, whenever they have a touch point with your collection, your brand, especially for launch and something that they're buying into, people want to know all the details before they purchase. So even if it's getting people on a phone call, like for me, like, if I was doing a coaching call, I would say, hey, these are the exact steps you need to take in order to make this happen, in order to purchase. And these are this is what's going to happen. You're going to purchase. Then you're going to get an onboarding form. You're going to get a questionnaire. We are going to schedule a time. This is what our calls would look like. So you're getting into the details of like, this is everything. You want to make sure that there are no surprises. People, when it comes to purchasing, want all of the information, which is different than what I told you about the teaser. So that's, different strategy, which is why it's a different day. And this is all about closing that loop, making sure it's all closed and nobody has any questions that like go unanswered, like no stone has been left unturned. That's now what we're kind of getting into right here. All right. And that just helps with conversion. So the loop is closed, the vibes are high, and people are getting excited, so you want to be, from this point on, basically from when you're making this announcement to your actual launch date, this is when you hit the ground running. So all your efforts get significantly ramped up. Okay. And even during this time, like the purpose of this is that you want to spread the word. You want to become omnipresent. You want to be, the collection that just is like, oh my gosh, they just showed up out of nowhere and they're everywhere. I'm seeing this person everywhere. I've been hearing about this from everyone. That's what you want to happen during this time. So what you can do to help spread the word, as you get into launch, you can retweet and have them retweet and tag some friends for a chance to win an NFT. This could be like in your announcement, like, hey, and we're doing this. Maybe you have a tweet with an image and it's, a threaded tweet, and you list all the information there. And you say, hey, if you want a chance to win an NFT, retweet this, tag some friends, quote retweet this, whatever you want to do. But it's getting people to post this on their timeline. And then you are now getting access to their community. All right. And now you're automatically starting to get a lot more eyes on your collection, and you're starting to organically really drive that buzz and really drive that PR on your collection and your mint date. All right, so this is just, one way to spread the word, and you do want to spread the word during this time. During this time between the announcement and your launch date, ramp up your Twitter spaces. Be a guest in a Twitter space or host a Twitter space every single day. You can start collaborating with other Discord communities, give them exclusive offers to win a chance for pre-sale, win a chance for an NFT. Again, the possibilities are endless. I'm giving you the steps that I've seen work, and I'm giving you ideas. However, this should not box you in. If you have a great idea, if you can get creative, the more creative you can get, the better. So focus on just being seen, focus on telling your story and sharing your passion. So in the ramp up phase, we talked a lot about creating content that aligns, giving tips, all of those things. This is now shifting. You're still doing some of that, but it's going to be a lot less about tips and content and more about launch, more about the details. Especially what you're talking about. So you want to make sure that you want to talk more about what your NFT offers, how it can improve their lives, how it can improve the world. Detail out what it means to be a holder. So you're tweeting every day. Tweet about what life looks like and feels like when people are a part of your community and they're your holders. And, you can talk about what's going on in your Discord, what your future plans are. You can do all the things here. So, like what this would look like is, let's do like a small announcement, and then we'll do a big announcement. So maybe you have a game night in your Discord, and that's the small thing that you're launching. So you'll tease it, you'll announce, and then you'll still create content that supports, the game night and the community aspect of your collection. Then you'll send reminders. You'll have like reminder tweets, reminder Discords, a lot of them up until it happens. And then when you're actually announcing your big one, and this is just a recap at this point, just to make sure that we're on the same page, is announce, hit the ground running like crazy, filling your calendars with Twitter Spaces, getting into hosting a lot of fun Discords in your Discord community, a lot of games in your Discord community, and just show up everywhere. Come up with partnership ideas. Then launch, so you're doing all these things, you announce, and you're go until launch. And I get this question all the time is, okay, so, what is the timing? And what I've seen personally is that the announcement of the launch date, and this is going to change depending on your community size, depending on how engaged your community is, and depending on how big your collection is. So if you have a huge community and a smaller collection, you can announce and then a week later launch. If you have something larger, it might take a few weeks, up to a month. I wouldn't go longer than a month, because you have to realize that once you announce, you hit the ground running, and there's a lot of energy expended at this point in time. And you want to make sure that you can still hold that vibe, that energy that we talked about in day 1 and day 2. You want to make sure that you can keep up, that you can sustain this whole go aspect. So keep that in mind when you are creating this. So you're going to pick a pre-sale date. Then you can actually count down the days. So again, you're creating the content that we already talked about, but then you're also making sure that you're like, okay, 4 days left until pre-sale. You're getting people ready, you're getting people excited, and you're staying top of mind all day, every day. It's kind of like the advent calendar for Christmas. And you can even have surprises along the way of guess what? We just announced this, on pre-sale. If you're one of the first 50 people, you're going to get something special. But don't stop talking about it. When pre-sale is here, you don't stop talking about anything basically until launch is over, and then you're still in maintenance phase and you still talk about it. So you are going to feel so sick, and you're going to feel like you're repeating yourself so much. That's okay, because a lot of people aren't seeing this. So you want to feel that way. And you don't want to be slimy or sketchy, be like, oh yeah, this is going to make you a millionaire, get in on this. No, you want to be genuinely excited. Oh my gosh, there's 3 days left. I can hardly wait. 2 days left. This is what our team is doing behind the scenes. We're so excited to share something with you. 1 day left. Oh my gosh, check out this sneak peek. So you're really keeping the momentum going up until launch. Okay, so if you just announce and then there's nothing, and then all of a sudden launch day is here, and you're like, hey guys, we're here. You've probably already been forgotten about. You've probably already fallen off the radars of so many different people, and especially in Twitter and in Discord, just because there's so much going on. So again, keep the momentum going, stay visible. This is going to take a lot of work, a lot of energy expending energy, the expending of energy. So again, yeah, the timing is up to you. Make sure you can hold the energy. So if you want to do a week, that's great. If you want to do a few days, great. If you want to do 3 weeks, great. And it might not work out perfectly the first time. You might get burned out and say, okay, I can't do that next time. Or you might do 3 days, but it didn't get enough momentum. So to extend that for next time. So again, this is a lot of feeling into what your audience is like and what they like versus what also feels good to you. Okay. So pre-sale, you're tweeting all the days up to it. Then you have a big announcement of pre-sale, pre-sale is here. Again, what's going on behind the scenes? What are you excited about? Share your passion again. Then you can go, okay, like 1 day left. Then it's a countdown of like when pre-sale is over. Last day is here. And oh my gosh, like last call, the last hour is right now to get pre-sale in. All right. So again, you're trying to kind of like get people going, because people will see an announcement and then their phone will ring and they'll go away and they'll completely forget about it. So again, these are just ways to make sure that you are keeping the momentum and you are keeping people engaged. During the launch, you can then start to, well, from pre-sale, it'll be like, okay, like 1 day for, launch, like this is go time. Like this is mint day. Mint days tomorrow. We are on for mint. Like, let's do this. 1 hour left until we start to mint. You get the gist of what I'm saying here. But during launch, what I love to do is to surprise and delight people. So not only are you creating more content that you can get out besides just buy, you are creating content that feels really good, that is serving your community, and that they're going to want to give back. And again, it drives momentum, it drives the hype. So if you mint today, this is what you could say, like, so we're minting today, and for today only, you get 1 extra airdrop today. Or if you mint today, then you're going to get added this utility onto what you purchase. So the first 50 people, we're going to have our own, like Zoom cooking class, or, whatever it is. Again, it could be anything. And then the next day you can switch it up and just be like, oh my gosh, like we're almost to 1,000 people. Like once we hit 1,000, we're going to start a drawing, and we're going to do 1 free NFT drop to somebody. So you can get into the feeling of like it's launch, but you're throwing all this excitement into it. You are like throwing the confetti in there, throwing in the piñata, you're throwing in the cake, all of the things. And again, the actual launch timing is really up to you, and just feel into it. I personally think a week is really good. But just, you can start there and then feel into that. And if you like that idea. What else do I need to talk about? So you're going to be launching for like a week or 2 weeks. And of course, you're going to, again, do what you did for pre-sale, like, 3 days left of, getting this utility, or 1 day left. Like this is your last chance to mint before, we have our community party, so maybe like the last day of launch, you have a community party, and then everyone's invited and you just get to meet people. Maybe it's more of like a connection type of like a fun event that you want to do, and if they don't mint by this certain point in time, they're not going to be able to come to this party. So you're giving people an incentive to buy. People will always buy the last minute, and you always need to give them an extra reason to buy. So the last piece of this, so we've done the announcement now, and we've done the actual launch, the actual mint day. The last piece of this is the hype piece. Okay, so this is, if you know me, you know that I very much dislike and am incredibly against paying for a promoter to promote any of your stuff. And because I think that it's just very unnatural, it's inauthentic, and they don't really know you or your community. And so, yeah, 99% of the time, I would say, please do not pay for anybody to promote. Here's what you can do, and why. I should actually tell you why. So for hyping, this is really great because people love to buy last minute, like I said, and there's a few reasons or a few ways that people like to do this, or like there's a few different strategies that help close the deal. 2 of these are based on FOMO and bandwagon. So FOMO is fear of missing out, and the bandwagon effect. It is where somebody sees everybody else doing it, so they automatically think that like, oh my gosh, like this is good, I want to do it too. That's why when you cruise by a restaurant and there's a huge wait time, you're like, ooh, like what's that restaurant? Like I want to go there. And you don't even know what it is. You just see that it is there's a huge crowd outside, so it has to be good, right? It's the same effect. Fear of missing out is, it's everything. People want to get in on it. They don't want to be the only person not in on this huge thing that's being hyped. So this is why I love this piece of it. And this is the last piece that will really get those last minute buyers and really get the last minute, the last minute mints. So I'm a huge fan of encouraging your biggest fans to promote you versus paying again for a promoter. So you want your fans, your soul family, to promote you because they love you and because they want to. This is what is authentic, and this is what's going to get more people in. If somebody authentically tweets and they are maybe loving on your community, they're sharing with your community, their community, versus just like a hype promoter who is just going to blast it out with no background, no connection, no story behind it. It never works. I can promise you that. Like it hardly ever works out, or at least it's just not worth the money at all. So how do you get hype and how do you get it naturally? Here are a few tactics that I like to do for my master classes and what I've seen really work for launches is to encourage people to share their minted piece and tag you. So say, hey, like, where's your piece? Like, where's our community at? Like, list your post below your mint, or get them in Discord. Like say like, hey, like, let's hype this up. Like, let's get all of our NFTs out there and really show some love for this collection for us. So encourage people to share, encourage people to tag you. And that again is sharing, that allows you to get access to their community. All right, so you're suddenly getting more eyeballs on you, and you're suddenly starting to see the FOMO effect and the bandwagon effect take place. You can also visually have a piece of creative, and it can say, like, I don't know, let's say that your collection, it goes and like the philanthropy aspect is saving polar bears. So you could have something that says, hey, I just saved a polar bear today. Something like that versus like, hey, I just minted this today, which is what, so that's twofold. So the last tip I gave you of people minting and tagging you, that's like, hey, look what I posted today. That's kind of giving people sneak peeks and really touting your project. But now you're also touting not just like the art, not just the actual NFT itself. You are now hyping the benefit behind it. And people love the benefit because they want to know what they're going to get out of buying your NFT. And this is what that does. So think of it that way, of not just like, hey, I minted today, but also what are the benefits? So I said, just say like, I just saved a polar bear, like I just adopted a polar bear. Maybe it is today I took my next step in like really creating generational wealth for myself. Like, I signed up for this class. It could be, I just became a badass woman. If your NFT is all about, the badass woman collective, you could say that to like, hey, I'm now a part of this family. Like I'm part of the soul family of so-and-so, so again, it's getting into that benefit, it's getting into that utility, and it's more of a feel-good way of promoting your NFT. So instead of just like the physical aspect, it's more of like the emotional side of things. And that's what people really connect with is not just seeing the art and not just knowing that there's a collection out there, but actually seeing the utility behind it and what they get out of it. And then during this time, you're also celebrating you, and you are creating more hype. So every person who mints, tag them, get on Twitter and celebrate them and tag them, celebrate them and welcome them into the family. And, and people are going to love that because they get access now to your audience, and they're also probably retweeting that, retweeting what you tagged them with, or at least commenting. And even when they comment, their audience starts to see you too. All right. So anytime anybody comments or retweets or quote tweets, it's all getting your eyes on different audiences, which is always good. What else? During this launch time, you can get in Twitter and celebrate just what's happening in your Discord. Okay, so, like, oh, we're launching today and, the memes are going crazy. Like, here's like a really funny meme from today, or here's one of, our favorite minting pieces that we've seen come to the Discord so far. So you're really celebrating people, you're celebrating the benefits, you're celebrating what's going on behind the scenes. So again, creating all of that last minute hype to get those last minute sales. And then even when you're in maintenance mode, like always do this now and then, it's more of maintenance. It's not just go, 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 and you're showing up all day, every day. It's more of like kind of like a slow ongoing process. So there are a few other questions that you had that I wanted to address on this video as well. And that was a lot of like, okay, like on launch day, like what does that look like? Do I need to be in Discord and Twitter? And the answer is yes. You need, especially for like the first few days, you need to make yourself fully available. You need to make yourself available, especially in your Discord, especially to answer questions in real time. So it's basically to handhold for minting too. So keeping FUD down, which we already talked about, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and also handholding through the mint. There's a 60 to 80% drop off during all mint phases because there's a lot of new people in the space and they try to figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they finally give up. That you do not want to lose out on 60 to 80% of people who could mint and give you money, so you want to do whatever you can to show up. It will be worth it to show up and to help people do all of this. Again, during that day, you're showing up, you're celebrating, you're holding the energy of party, of celebration, of excitement. Yeah, throwing out perks, we talked about that, like surprise perks. Maybe you could say like, oh hey, like don't forget, like hold for 30 days and we're going to give you this. That helps to decrease flippers, and it helps keep your floor price up when you have some incentive for people to hold for a certain amount of days. If you want them to hold for a certain amount of days. And then yes, you're getting in Twitter spaces, or at least on Twitter, you're at least like showing up and hyping. But I really love when people get on Twitter because it allows for a two-way conversation and it allows for two-way celebration. So people are getting in, they're celebrating with you. Invite your Discord, invite the people who've already minted, invite the people in your community so they can also talk about you. So you can talk about you, but it's way more powerful if somebody else talks about you and gives you the kudos. So you can also have people come in, ask questions. You basically want to remove all doubt at this point from anybody not wanting to purchase, so you want to make sure people are fully on board in these Twitter spaces and that they're really understanding your vision and your project and giving them all the information they need to purchase. And the best way to do this is to celebrate. Even like when you see mints come in, you can be on your Twitter space and say, oh my gosh, like we just got another mint. And again, it's feeding into that FOMO aspect, that bandwagon aspect that people really want to be a part of. So the launch day and being in Discord and Twitter is all about holding the vibration and all about really nurturing this conversion process, this payment process. So that is basically it. That was like really potent and really powerful and like really straight to the point, which has been different than the past few days. So I want you to go through this all again, list this all out. It is the announcement, then what you need to do from announcement to actually launch day, what you do on mint day, and then after that, after like the week to 2 weeks of launching, still provide value, still do what you were doing before. You just don't have to do it every day like you are in the launch phase. But obviously after you mint and mint out, whether you do or don't sell out, you want to make sure that you're still there providing value, building your community, and really developing a community that people want to be a part of, if that makes sense. So I hope this gave you so much clarity, especially with your next steps and how to launch. If it did, please let me know in the feedback section. Let me know what you liked best. Let me know what has helped you the most. And also let me know if you have any other questions. Put it in the Q&A. If there are enough Q&A questions, I'll do a final Q&A video. Otherwise, you'll just see the answers in the Q&A thread. I so appreciate your time. it's just so much love to you all. Thank you so much. I know that, everyone is busy, but I think that this is super important. And if you're going to launch an NFT, you should launch it correctly and in a way that gets you the most sales. All right, you all. I love you so much, so much. Have a great night and let's hang out soon.